Sergio Perez has once again proven that he is the best in street circuits and basically had no issue keeping Verstappen at bay while he cruised to his second victory this season, 6th overall in his career. Both Red Bull drivers are now comfortably on top, and it's evident that this season's champion will be decided out of the two of them. Perez feels as confident as ever that he can take on the two-time world champion, and after the race had some insane takes which sure prove this. Perez's double victory in Baku, both on the Saturday new format sprint and on the Sunday's race, showed us that unlike the rest of the races, when it comes to the street tracks, he is the man to beat, rather than Max Verstappen. Such high was his dominance that I personally was surprised to see how he comfortably drove few seconds in front of Verstappen, and we know that Max is not a driver who will give up on a victory so easily. That difference was over 3 seconds at one point. If I'm being honest, however, Verstappen did go through a setback in the race where he pitted mere seconds before a safety car was introduced. But even Horner said there is no way they could have known that this was going to happen. It does beg the question though, why did the team decide to pit him with yellow flags in both sectors 1 and 2, clearly indicating that the likelihood of a safety car is very imminent? Maybe we can attribute this to bad luck, but nevertheless, Verstappen easily overtook Leclerc and started to gradually build a huge difference in front of the Ferrari, and just like Jeddah, was unsuccessful in passing his teammate. These can prove to be very exciting times for the neutral Formula 1 fans, because the championship battle we're getting is shaping up to be the one between the two drivers in the Red Bull garage. And another reason is that Perez has managed to withstand the pressure from Verstappen comfortably, something that no other driver has managed to do since 2021. Perez kept up his composure, and after the safety car, he had absolutely no issues to cruise to victory. The victory very much keeps Perez's dream of being champion alive, with him having shared that being victorious come the end of the season is my objective. I am here to be champion. That is my objective, Perez told the Spanish newspaper El Mundo. Maintaining a good relationship with the team is important, but there will be a moment when I'm thinking about me. He knows that only perfection throughout the season will see him dethrone Verstappen. However, in Azerbaijan he did just that, with him now feeling closer than ever to being champion. When asked how he can beat Verstappen, Perez acknowledged that he can't afford any slip-ups when racing against Max, who always maximizes the car's potential. According to Perez, even giving 99.99% won't suffice. He views the current season as a significant opportunity and feels closer than ever to success. Additionally, he's mindful that he's nearer to the end of his career than the beginning, which further fuels his determination. Only by being at his absolute best and near perfection will Perez be able to beat Verstappen to the title, and he knows this very clearly, with the Mexican believing he's in a better position this season than he was last year. But he also had a very interesting take, which we'll get to in a second, that might even anger his teammate further. Verstappen admitted after the race that he felt he was unlucky to lose out behind the safety car, which eventually cost him a shot at winning. Of course, the safety car was a bit unlucky, then I had to push again and try to stay very close to try and get within the DRS of Perez, Verstappen explained. But the tires were overheating a little bit, and then of course trying to follow Perez with the balance, I was struggling to be really consistent. I was playing around with the tools a little bit, and once I got settled, I think the last 10 laps or so were quite good, but it was just a little bit too late. There were a lot of things learned throughout the race, and at the end of the day, the 1-2 is a good team result. We keep learning, we cannot be perfect all the time, there are always things you can learn. A few times I hit a wall around the lap. Of course we were pushing, but that's also part of racing on a street circuit. We know it is a very long season, and Baku is quite different in comparison to Miami, and Miami is quite different to other tracks we go to. Horner defended his team's decision in Baku, saying that it was the right time, performance-wise, to pit Verstappen, as the Dutchman still had his engine running and so he pitted, given the incident was at the start of the medium tyre pit window. But unbeknownst to Red Bull and viewers watching the race broadcast was De Vries' collision with the wall, with the Milton Keynes-based outfit expecting the rookie to reverse and carry on from what was seemingly a small error. As De Vries was stranded, the safety car was called out just as Verstappen left the pit, and this put him behind Charles Leclerc and Perez. Nevertheless, the two-time world champion managed to bounce back and secure second place. It was the optimum time to stop from a performance point of view, explained Horner, speaking to Sky Sports F1. De Vries hasn't hit the wall. At the point where we had stopped, the engine was still running, and to us, it looked like he was going to reverse out and go from there. So he had already committed to the stop, and of course, with 2020 hindsight, you can always say should've, would've, could've, but sometimes things like that just don't go your way. His misfortune was Checo's good fortune. Horner further hailed Perez's amazing race, saying that his performance was remarkable and that he made good use of the safety car incident. Perez, however, took the time to blame the issues he had in the previous race in Australia for the fact that he's not currently sitting on the top of the leaderboards. When questioned about his potential to contend for the championship, Perez pointed to the Melbourne race as the primary reason he isn't currently leading the drivers' standings. "I think with having 3 kids at home, I wouldn't be traveling the world if I didn't believe that I could be a world champion, and I'm working towards that," Perez told Sky Sports F1. But obviously, there is only so much you can say outside of the car, and I think it's important to deliver on the track. I think without all the issues that we had in qualifying in Melbourne, we should be leading the championship. So, definitely there is everything to believe that we can do well. I'm fighting for the championship, but I also know that it's a massive road ahead, so I need to keep my head down and just keep delivering. Sergio Perez's impressive win at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix has solidified his belief that he's a legitimate contender against his Red Bull teammate Max Verstappen for this year's World Championship. While the Mexican's conviction is strong, not everyone shares his confidence, including his team principal. Christian Horner's remarks following the race hinted at some skepticism. Nonetheless, Perez undoubtedly made a statement with his performance on the streets of Baku. So, it is possible that the rivalry between Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez could hark back to the days of Senna and Prost or Rosberg and Hamilton. Could we see a situation where 2 Red Bull racing teammates are vying for the world title at the top level? In the past, such circumstances led to internal conflicts and numerous challenges. Perez is very confident, and it is currently 2-2 this season, with both drivers winning 2 races. I have to emphasize, however, that last year, Perez was talked as a title contender as well, also starting the first few races strongly, with the peak being Monaco where he won, and after that he fell off, leaving Verstappen a very easy job to win the title, seeing how good the RB18 was as well. Horner mentioned that his primary concern at the moment is building a cushion for both drivers against their competitors, given the possibility that other teams may close the gap later in the season. This is due to the research and development restrictions imposed on Red Bull as a penalty for breaching the budget cap. However, Red Bull's current advantage is so substantial that it's difficult to envision anyone else interfering with the driver's private challenge. For Perez to challenge Verstappen throughout the season, he'll need to achieve a level of consistency he has not demonstrated before, and he's aware of this as well. The real challenge lies in successfully executing it, because we all know how ruthless Verstappen is and he will never back down from a dogfight. It will be very interesting to see how this pans out until the end of the season. What are your thoughts? Can Perez beat Verstappen and surprise pretty much everyone in the Formula One world, or will Max achieve a three-peat? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and we will see you next time.